Alright, today, man, we dealing with a legendary individual from the same city I'm from, man. This man has made his stamp on TikTok, being one of the biggest TikTokers in the world. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Listen, I'm Jalen, bro. Jalen, TikTok legend, live pro on TikTok, content creator, man. It's a number of things, man. Like I was telling y'all,
So we're gonna start from the jump. So tell them folks how, like, did you always have a passion for like media, film, or how did that passion start from the early ages?
I never had a passion for media. Like I honestly lucked into it, which I won't even call it luck. It's pretty much God, because I never even knew how to work a camera or how to work any piece of film equipment. I met a director, and the director gave me a PA job. So from that PA job...
What's a PA job for people that don't know?
Oh, so a PA job is basically a production assistant. Like I might be carrying the gear for somebody who operates it. So once I got that job and I saw that the pay was pretty decent, I said this is a career I would, pursue. And then once I got familiar with other people that operate and like actually know the craft, they started teaching me, and then I became knowledgeable about like the whole craft and got better and better each year.
Word up. So you learned that in Atlanta?
Yes, I learned everything in Atlanta.
Everything.
I learned every single thing in Atlanta. Like.
So what was your upbringing like in Durham? You know what I'm saying? What was the probably one of the biggest differences coming from Durham to Atlanta?
Okay, so I feel like just being in Durham alone, Durham is basically a city where if you're not practicing medicine or you ain't interested in basketball, like it's like no other option, kinda. It's like literally like a sports town in Medicine City. So, I mean, I like basketball, but I knew I wasn't going to the league, So I didn't really have a career. I was just lost, actually.
For real. That's how I be in the city. So, boom, when you was working as a production assistant, was it like films, movies, music video? What kind of videos was you working?
So it was mainly commercials at first, but the film community is so small and it's so much room for like production assistants that somebody might call you for a movie or somebody might call you for a documentary. So I got well versed in how to operate films in different genres of film.
What was your favorite film that you shot? One of your favorite films that you shot?
Okay, my favorite film that I ended up shooting was like Love is Blind. Like it's on Netflix. That was one of my first projects that I ever did. And the reason why it's one of my favorites is because like the cast members and I got kind of close. Like they would like ask me for advice about the girls. Like, what do you think about this girl? She does this, and that. Like, how do you feel about that? So it felt like I was even a part of the show.
And how long did you work on that film for?
That was like a 4-week job, and it was like 10 episodes in 4 weeks, which once I learned how film works, it was like, that was amazing. That 4 weeks turned into like a whole 3 months of television.
And how long was you working as a PA until you transitioned to TikTok?
I worked as a production assistant maybe 3 or 4 years in, and then I kind of graduated to camera op, assistant director, and then maybe like 7 years in the film industry, I transitioned towards social media when we had a writer's strike. So we had a writer's strike where I might have worked one job, Wicked City. It's on Black Network Television. I worked on that job for 2 months. And while I was working on that job, I did TikTok. So for 2 months, I worked 14 hours a day, and then I would do 3 hours on the side of TikTok, where I eventually started making more money on TikTok than on that job. and I made $600 as a camera assistant, camera op every day on that job.
And what was your first piece of content that went viral?
My first piece of content that went viral was I actually lied on my content. Like I had a video with Shaq getting out of a Hellcat, and I had put like the caption was like, me and this dude had road rage, and this guy got out the car, and it was Shaq, and it did like 3.9 million views.
Yeah, so that brought all the attention to your page.
I started getting attention from that.
So how long was it till you quit the job and was full-time on TikTok?
Oh, after that one job, the Wicked City job, where I was doing TikTok and Wicked City at the same time, I realized that I no longer wanted to work for nobody, and I wanted to have complete freedom of my time and my schedule. So I was just like, man, I said, fuck the film industry. I'll come back as an executive producer.
Word up. So when was that? When did you learn about TikTok? Because there's a lot of people out here they consume it. They just see and then they hear myths of people making money off it, but they don't really understand. When did you learn about it? When did you actually learn about it?
I've been knew about TikTok, but it didn't hit me until I dated this girl. Like the amount of revenue you could create on TikTok, because the girl I was dating had lots of followers, and she was in the creator reward program, and she made like, maybe like $1,000 off a video one time. And then she would also go live and make like $20, $30 here. And once I saw her and I saw my talent, and I was like, it's a difference in our talent. Like, she just fine, she's just some fine shit. I said, man, like, I was some fine shit, and I got a personality too. I was like, man, I'm about to kill this. So I started making content every single day, and then I started going live. And sometimes my content would go viral, and I would like go live after it, and then I would have so many people in my live, and then people would start sending me gifts. So once I kind of got my first 2 or 3 gifts, that let me know that I had a future in it. Because I'm like, man, if 1 or 2 people would send me a gift on TikTok, I can almost get like at least 100, 200 people to start sending me gifts just because I trust who I am.
When, for somebody that's looking right now and want to be like, damn, bro, he doing it, you know what I'm saying? How could you explain step by step to get to the level you're at?
Okay, for instance, whatever you do, you have to commit to it and be consistent. That's just like, first things foremost, you have to be consistent. But like the amount of time I put in of going live was like, at first I was working, so it was like 3 hours every day. But once I completely stopped working, I went live for 6 to 10 hours every single day, because I actually love what I did. Now, if you don't love talking to people and you don't have the gift of gab, or you don't care about other people's interests, or even if you can't fake liking other people's interests, like this live is not for you. But if you genuinely love people, you're gonna have a lot of success, because that's my thing. I love people and meeting new people. I even do that in person and on TikTok.
All right, so boom. How many times would you post per day in order to get all the way up there?
To be for real, post, it helps a lot. It gets you new engagement. But when it comes to live streaming part of TikTok, that's the part that you have to put the hours in. Now, posting does help. Like if you go viral, that helps you tremendously. But if you really want to build your following up through post, I would say at least go post like 3 times a day, and just to always be in front of people's faces and find a niche.
And boom, so for some motivation purposes, what were some of your best months, if you want, give them folks some numbers on your TikTok?
Well, okay, so basically, like I'm a live pro. So being a live pro on TikTok, the requirements are you have to get, your group of people to send you $100,000 in a month. Now, from $100,000 in a month, the creator gets half of it and TikTok gets half. Which that shit is unfair. Like TikTok, if you watching this, that shit is kind of unfair, because I'm entertaining, I'm moonwalking like Michael Jackson, I'm flying through there like Michael Jordan on the live stream. So that shit is unfair. But you have to get $50,000. That's what you get, and TikTok gets 50,000, and you have to have 100,000 followers to be a live pro. So the best month I've ever had was I got $50,000.
That's fine. That's fine. So you was talking about your ranking on TikTok. What's your ranking on as a TikTok?
So every day it's a daily ranking. So if you get a certain amount of gifts, you're ranked in the United States. So the highest I ever been ranked was number 3, which is 3 top spots. And the highest I've ever been is number 3. I actually was number 1 for a whole day. Well, for almost a whole day until somebody beat me out like right at the end. So
what was you doing on that number 1 day?
It was my birthday.
What was that live like? What was you doing?
Well, the live was just crazy, but it was like most of my supporters came to support me on that one day, and I ended up putting up $2.3 million.
Man, went crazy on the diamond.
Yeah.
Explain the gifts. So like, what each one means? You can start from like the highest to the lowest.
Okay, the highest gift would be a uni, which is it costs $450, and the creator gets $225, and then you'll go to the lowest would be a rose. So that's the scale of it. You could get like 1 cent for a rose, or you can get as high as $225 for a uni. And there's so many other gifts in between. It's probably like over 100 gifts. And you will see an animation come up on the screen, and they make it cute. But it's like every time you get a gift, it's similar to a cash out.
That's fine. So, boom, since you was so high ranking, did TikTok offer you any like trips or anything, take you anywhere? You had any experience with TikTok?
Well, I've been invited to TikTok headquarters probably over 10 times, and I probably only went twice. But they invite you to things. I went to Live Fest. So Live Fest is basically where every top creator on TikTok meets, and they have an award ceremony like the Grammys, and they give you like a nice little room situation. They interview you, and like the year I went, I don't think they did it this year because it was like fires in LA at the time, so I think they postponed it. But the year I went, Terry Crews hosted it. And we got to walk on the red carpet, take pictures, and do a lot of things. It was very nice.
So I remember you talking about that video that went viral, your first one that went viral. You got any other videos that went over that, like your most viral video?
Nothing over that video with Shaq, but I went viral like 4 or 5 times. Just millions of views. Yeah.
Well, okay, boom. I see you do the interviews. So how did you get upon starting doing the interview?
Well, okay, so starting an interview, I never even planned on doing that at all. But, like I said, I'm invested in people. So I went to Magic City, and I was making it rain. Like I had $1 bills everywhere. Like if you came next to me, you would slip and fall, So I see Charleston White walk past me, and he looked at me and he said, "God damn, young nigga." And I was like, "What's up, bro, man?" And I told him like I like his work, and I agree with a lot of things that he says. And it clicked in my head like, oh, I need to do an interview with him. So I got his contact information, and I reached out to him, and we just locked it in. And then from that point on, after the interview, I realized that I kind of like interviewing people. Like I like talking to people that I actually like. So that's another career path, that I'm choosing. Like my YouTube is, developing. Matter of fact, go follow me at TVJalen.
Right there at the bottom. Boom. So you got the interview. Is there any other people that you interviewed?
Yes, I've interviewed Lil RT, the one that Kanye West just took a sample.
How you like that? How was that one?
It was crazy because the little boy is bad as hell. Yeah, RT is bad as hell, but at the same time, he's so misunderstood because to even freestyle the stuff that he says, even though like maybe a kid shouldn't say it, but it's actually intelligent that, you know, he even thinks of the stuff and makes it rhyme. So I know when I was a kid, I couldn't just spit out rhymes like that. So I feel like the little boy is very talented, and I look forward to seeing him like progress over the years.
Who else you interviewed?
I interviewed Shotty, man. He's a rapper, really an upcoming rapper. Like he got like 1.5 million streams on this song called "Get Your Shit Together," and he also appeared on Lotto and Funny Marco's show, and did like some type of talent show on it. And I also interviewed Jason. He was a 50 boy in BMF, and all of that is on my YouTube page.
What? So you got the interviews, you know what I'm saying, the YouTube, you got the TikTok. What other avenues you do now or interested in?
Well, other avenues that I kind of do, I don't know how you describe it, but it's like maybe like a production coordinator. Like I put together like film crews for people and people who need them, because I kind of I got a large amount of connections within the film industry at different positions. Like I can find lighting people, I can find camera people, I can find sound people, coordinators, production assistants. So I kind of facilitate that stuff for people who need that.
All right. And shit, we'll wrap it up. What's some of your goals for the future?
My goals are to put together short films and long form content on my YouTube, and just expand, you know, what I learned within the film industry, and also, you know, what I learned from the social media side of things, and combine them to create great products. And then also, my goals are to travel the world and make travel vlogs. So that's going to be on my YouTube as well.
And then last question. If you had $1 billion, what would you do?
Man, if I had $1 billion, what would I do? After I took care of my family, I'd be like a philanthropist. Like I would, you know, help people that need help more than anybody. Like, you know, I be seeing like the water boys, like I snatch their ass up. You know what I mean? I snatch their ass up, help them out with business structure, and because they hustlers. Like that would be like what I would want to do. I would want to invest in hustlers, because I'm a hustler myself. I ain't never worked a job, so I got respect for people who hustle.
Yeah, signing out, and then letting the folks know where to find you at your social medias.
Okay, you can find me at official TVJalen on Instagram. You can find me at YouTube at TVJalen, TikTok at TVJalen, and you can find me in these Atlanta streets too.